welcome to Night and Day. My name is Natasha. I have to do this video over because I was like getting busy, getting down on what I was talking about, and the mic was off. So I gotta do this video over, and it's like exhausting and it's a lot. All right, today I'm talking about universe, frequency, and vibration. And I also want to tell you that with the laws of vibration, it comes from the 33 plus laws of Maya. And the laws of vibration is just one of the laws out of many that come from the laws of Maya, which is based out of ancient Egyptian tradition or Kemet. Now, with the laws of vibration, like I said, they come from Maya. Everything that is solid vibrates. And it might not look like it's vibrating because it's like compressed together and it looks still, but it's vibrating. Even like a solid like desk, table is still vibrating, and there are still little tiny subatomic particles inside that solid that are vibrating at a different level. Now, with these subatomic particles moving and bumping around each other, these little tiny particles have high energy, not just in a solid, but within us and all around us. So once it vibrates and you raise your vibration, you are tapping into like pure energy, pure consciousness. Now, with these subatomic particles, these are atoms. And everybody knows what an atom is. Atoms are made out of proton, neutrons, and electrons. And these, protons is like plus, and the electron is like negative 1, 0 at a, which equals how you say, an atomic mass unit. But I'm not gonna go into details about that. I don't even have that on here. I just got like the different particles that it's made up of. That's something that you learn and you never forget. It's even on a periodic table. Everybody knows what a periodic table, and you can always look up the different units that it holds on the periodic table. So also too with atoms are made out of like carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. And this is all melanin. This is what we are made of. This is what the trees are made of. Everything has like these same elements packed inside of it. So with the photons, the protons, neutrons, and electrons, these are all produced by the sun. This is why it's so important to get sunlight, because this is actually like our source of energy. This is like food for our cells, and it's important that our cells get this proteins that are produced by the sun. Okay. So with that, humanity is surrounded like by waves of energy. Like how you have fishes and you have the fishes in the fish tank, and that is their natural environment. Well, it's the same thing with us. We are in like a fishbowl, and we are swimming in like different waves of energy. You just can't see it though, but we are. So, with this waves of energy that is all around us, this is like what they call the unified field or the matrix. So, with this unified field or the matrix, whatever you want to call it, this is our consciousness. This is what surrounds our body. So once you like raise your vibration and you raise it so high and you build up that electromagnetic field, not only are you tapping into pure energy, but also too that euphoric field that surrounds your body is basically a file cabinet. You basically have how you say limitless information that surrounds your body all around you. So you know you can pick from over here, grab information. You can pick from over here and grab information up there, down there, wherever it surrounds you. It's all around you. It's like a file cabinet. And that's like what I was explaining, like with the Akashic records. Like once you tap into this pure consciousness and it's like energy field, you are retrieving like limitless information from other dimensions and higher life forms, you know, either even past lives. And this is all a part of you. This is what you have access to. And this is why it's like important to like try to discipline your body to like be able to like meditate and get that thought train, you know, so that way you can basically like be able to like come to understand, like I know like with me because I've been doing this for so long, I can like probably like look at something or read like a small paragraph and I can put together like over maybe like a different types of information that goes with it without having to go and open up another book or whatever. Because with meditation and raising that vibration, whatever it is that you're like trying to like understand as far as like knowledge goes, it should be able to gravitate to you. You should be able to understand it. And this is why understanding like cells and how they functions are and how they vibrate, and when these cells inside of your body vibrate at like a real high level, it sends off this like frequency wave that disperse from inside of you outside of you. And then not only the cells inside your body, but also the cells and the little atoms that are floating around in the air. Like there's little tiny particles in the air that you can see. And they're like moving and bumping around. Everybody can see them. Those are atoms that, you know, that are dispersed from like the atmosphere, also like from the sun rays, you know, the trees and the plants. And we're communicating with that. Like the cells inside our body that are vibrating are communicating with those little tiny atoms floating around. And they're so small, but you can't see them moving around. And that's when quantum physics comes in, because quantum physics kind of explains our reality and the energy behind it. That's like that's the chaos world. That's dark matter energy. So also too like with the tapping into like the higher consciousness. I'm looking through my notes. When you're like tapping into like that higher consciousness, you are transcending. You are going through an ascension. And when you are ascending, it doesn't mean that your body is going to like disappear and ascend up into the air, up into the heavens. No, ascendance and transcendence mean that when you raise that vibration, your consciousness, you can't see your consciousness because it's pure energy. Your consciousness is ascending, and is supposed to ascend out of this reality into like higher dimensions. That's like the whole point of like evolution and being able to like evolve past the physical form and get to understand like your higher self, because it's the as above and the so below. The below is your physical form. And then also you gotta understand too, like this unified field matrix, whatever you want to call it, is like a lower level of vibration. So you have to consciously transcend past this physical and get that conscious vibration like to rise, because when your consciousness rises, you can't see it, but it's energy rising out of your body, which your spirit is finally communicating with its higher self. And once it sends that beacon off up into like your higher self, then your higher self is gonna like communicate back. And that's the whole point of like the one mind. And the one mind basically is the collaboration of the physical and the higher self to combine together to become one, which is the whole like meaning of like the yin and the yang coming together. You see how it like goes in the black and white in that circle form? Well, that's basically what it's explaining, the combination, the combining the both, the physical and the spiritual, the higher self. And when you come to understand like quantum physics and like how it explains the reality, then you will understand like, okay, this physical is just a shell. It's not really like the makeup of who you really are, because you have like little tiny other worlds like inside of you, which is on that microscopic level in the quantum field, that have a mind of its own, that is doing its own things, and that is like actually like the building block of the reality that we're living in. So once you come to understand or understand like consciousness and the change that it's doing, then you'll understand like how things are shifting. And then also you'll come to understand like I explained, and I think I explained it in my podcast, that your spirit is not having a physical reality. Your Well, it's not experience, and I'm sorry, your physical is not experience. Well, no, I'm sorry. Your your spiritual is not experiencing, is not having a physical experience. That's what I meant to say. Your physical is having a spiritual experience, meaning that we are basically inside the spiritual shell. You can't surround it. We have like an auric field that surrounds us, and that's our spirit. And we are inside of it. It's not the spirit inside of the body, it's the other way around. And that is our electric magnetic field, which is electromagnetic field, which is the shell that we are encased in. And that is our memory base. That is our file cabinet. That is like everything for us. And that's why it's important to like raise that vibration. Because when you raise that vibration, because it all comes from within, our cells, the little tiny atoms and plasmas are vibrating. They're controlling our reality. They're doing all of this. And once that frequency is dispersed from the inside out, it basically builds and makes our electromagnetic field much, much more stronger. So that way we'll be able to harness more information, not only more information, but we'll be able to like do like unimaginable things. Like once you raise that vibration. And then not only that, like once you raise that vibration and you're tapping into that consciousness, You're tapping into like I said earlier, pure energy. And not only that, like this is also like coming to understand a deeper level of creation. It's that Alice in Wonderland. Do you want to go down that rabbit hole? And then like also too, and this is what I want to explain. Um, there is like a pattern. Everything has a pattern and is development stage. And the pattern that I'm talking about is called the seed of life. And there's a movie that's very interesting. I'm not gonna explain much about the movie, but it kind of explains it. It's called Interstellar by Matthew McConaughey. I think I looked at that movie like 50 million times. And there's a scene with the daughter in the library, and the book falls, and she thought it was like a ghost or something. But what happened was her father, which is Matthew McConaughey, had traveled into like an interstellar dimension, and he actually got lost in a dimension where the creation like begins. Not only is it where the creation begins, but it's like um where it holds all the memories, like a memory base, like an intel, like huge intel. And he can see her reality from that other side, but she couldn't see him. All she can see is what's in front of her, which is like the 3D world. But he can see like her reality from the dimension that he was in. That's more so like the ninth dimension. And so on her end, in her reality, when that book fell, she thought it was a ghost, but on the other side of that wall, he basically pushed that book because he was trying to communicate with her. So that way he can start sending her messages to let her know, like, I'm here. I'm just stuck over here in this different dimension. I need you to help me, like, get back to you. But you gotta look at it. That movie is like more to it. I don't know if I explained it right. I'm trying to explain it the best way I can, but yeah, it's a good movie, and it's called Interstellar. And there's another movie that did he play in that movie? I don't know if he played in that movie, but it's with Jodie Foster. It's another movie. I love like sci-fi movies. It's called Contact, where when she traveled to like another universe, but she never left the planet. But I'm not gonna go into that. But that movie's called Contact with Jodie Foster and Angela Bassett's in it. Check that movie out. It's really good. And what I was trying to explain with the pattern, if you ever had like that kaleidoscope, and everybody had like a kaleidoscope from when they was a kid. When you turn the kaleidoscope, you see how everything folds into each other. That's kind of like the pattern, like of that's just one of the patterns of creation, and also too like the mirrors. Like I remember when I was little. I think I explained this in the podcast, but I'm gonna explain it again because it just like brings me back to that. It's like an alignment. When I was little, my grandmother used to go into the department stores, and then when you go in the dressing room, there was like a mirror on this side, and there was like a mirror on the other side. And when I would look into the mirror, I could see myself basically continuing. So that's kind of like an alignment. That's basically like a perfect example, like of vibrating into like other dimensions that you continue on to, like it never ends. Like this is infinite. It's never gonna end. Energy can't be created. It can't be destroyed. It just continues on. It's infinite, it's limitless, and never ends. And basically like with a flower or a broccoli, and then those like explain it the best, because if you look at a flower or a broccoli on a microscopic level, you will see that there is another part to it than what we see. And what I mean, like the broccoli that we're eating, we only see that. But once you like zoom in, you see that pattern, and it continues and it continues and it continues. And that's the quantum field, that's the quantum physics reality. And it explains that these cells actually continue on. And not only do they continue on, but when they vibrate in, they're sending a frequency to the next cell out of itself from the inside, and out of itself from the inside. Like with me, with the cells in my body, my cells on a quantum level are vibrating, creating the reality for those cells inside of my body. And then them cells are vibrating, sending off a frequency that is like traveling from the inside out and sending another like frequency wave form that's creating another reality with the physical. And then like that continues on, and it vibrates where we creating a reality outside of us in our environment. So once you come to understand that, that's the seed of life. You understand like what our cells do, what the atoms do. Like the atoms have a mind of its own. It has like its own personality. It has its own world. Like even too like with the cells, like inside of a cell you have the nucleus. And inside of the nucleus it has like another like world of its own that have like millions and millions and millions and millions of tiny particles inside of a nucleus cell. So that right there tells you like the universe, the cosmos is so infinite and so limitless that in order for you to get there, you got to go within. And then not only that, you got to understand like how fabulous like vibration is. Like that everything vibrates. And the reason for the vibrate, it keeps moving. It can't stop. It's not supposed to stop. It's not supposed to just be still. And even if you see like a piece of solid or a table still, it's not still. It's vibrating. You just can't feel it, but it's vibrating. And by it vibrating, it's sending that frequency out from the vibration to create that unified field or matrix that forms our reality. So yeah, that's what I wanted to explain. I could have went deeper into it. I could have went like some more, but I think I'll give it a break with this video and do another video with the quantum field, because that's gonna be like that's probably gonna be long, because the quantum field is like the chaos energy. That's like dark matter. That's where everything comes from. Even like with the sun. Like when you look at the sun, if you look at the sun, it's black. That color yellow that you see that surrounds the sun, that's just it vibrating like it's energy. But the sun is actually black. And it's vibrating too. That's why it's sending off atoms, all those electrons, neutrons, and protons. And we feed, our body feeds off of that. It needs that. It's essential. The plants, the trees, everything needs that. Even like the trees and the plants got their little, how you say it? Plant kingdom, and how the cells function inside of the plants and how they vibrate too to help, with the realities and stuff. Help with our creation in this reality. So yeah, that's all I wanted to explain with universe frequency and vibration coming from the universe and from the cells and like what these cells give off. It's fascinating. And I'll continue on with another video with the quantum field and vibration. So that's all I have for you. Thank you. Peace.